the company that carry out their work. Therefore, basically, when we say that they're incompetent, we are trying to tell the Chinese government, okay, so you are going to raid about 85% of 3.5 billion to a Juakari company. They know the companies, they are in China, and ourselves, a team from Kenya Railways, from Treasury, and from people within government went to China in 2012 to satisfy themselves that this is a company that has capacity and capability.
What would happen if they fail to accomplish the task?
That now is
a guarantee.
We are supposing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what would be the reasons for failure? The design is there, the price is fixed, there is funding.
The argument in that Nairobi was that their capital, the money their capitalization, is not equal to that.
When a magazine starts questioning a government, two governments, the Chinese government and the Kenyan government, then here you start wondering.
Is the capitalization
because basically what we are saying, we are telling the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, you people are not competent to know which company can carry out an inning. You are very foolish. You are bringing us a Juakari company. We are telling the Chinese Exim Bank, you are not capable of determining who you can give a loan. And I have never known a bank that just goes and lends money to somebody, even yourself. Try and go to Equity and ask for 1 million loan and see how difficult it is to get this loan. Is it just, as I say, the component of 85% of 3.8 billion? We are seeing that the Chinese government, even where an agreement has been signed between a Chinese president and a Kenyan president, we are seeing that these two governments are so incompetent. Between the two of them, they are so incompetent that they can just dish out money.
When you went to China, which criteria did you use to ascertain that this company is capable of accomplishing the task?
Basically, the company is not me, but government exists. They went, they saw all the projects that they have done, they were satisfied, they are in documents that we presented to Parliament. They have carried out railway construction. Even now they are carrying out railway construction, big railway construction.
But we have had cases even with coal mining where we saw parliamentary members of parliament in China. Actually, they had gone to see how the Chinese are doing it. And it was revealed that actually they were visiting the wrong places. In a country that you don't know, you'll be taken anywhere. And they'll tell you have done this job.
Now, first of all, I've explained our engagement. It is not just hopping into an aeroplane, and we are dealing with a known bank, one of the largest banks in the world, Exim Bank of China. And also the China Development Bank, because there is a commercial aspect to this loan. Okay, you may even forget the Exim Bank, but the China Development Bank, which is providing a commercial loan, which has to be repaid. And there is nothing apart from a government guarantee. So, what we are saying is this. The team that went carried out due diligence. This is a company that has worked here. So we are not just, it's not a phantom company. Do you get it?
Sir, you've made that point, but the question is, what criteria did you use to determine when you were in China that this company was competent?
Okay, for example, if today we start talking of a company in Kenya, and we talk of, say, Intex, and you come, somebody wants to know, and we get references, or H-Young, for example, I get very many, I'm told to give references. Somebody will come, you come to the Ministry of Roads, you ask which road has been carried out by this Intex company, by H-Young company, by XYZ, you see, you get the documentation. And I'm telling you that in 2012, the team from Kenya Railways, together with a government team, went and were satisfied that China Road and Bridge had carried out.
What about let's rephrase the question. What other railways have they built?
There are quite a number. In fact, they're in a document that is here, but I don't have to keep it on top of
okay, it's not top of mind.
In China.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we'll come to that later because we want to show us that later. But still on the issue of the company, isn't part of the challenge, the controversy that the other Chinese companies themselves feel that they're better qualified to undertake this work, that there's some sort of fiddling of contracts and awarding of tenders within China itself?
Now, here we go. said from the very beginning that an MOU was signed between a Chinese company, not between Chinese companies, for the construction of Maraba to Nairobi. And that was the beginning. The feasibility studies were carried out for about 2 years. So this is a journey come late. A journey come late. And how many Chinese companies are there in China? Very many. Which one was it going to be? One of them. So it was signed with one of them.
So you're agreeing that part of the controversy has to do with Chinese competition?
Let me explain this. Right from the Garden of Eden, the grandchildren of God, Cain and Abel, could not agree on something. It ended up with death, one killing the other. So this doesn't surprise me that companies are fighting and somebody is trying to get in. Sibling rivalry is always there. And this is like now the process that we are going through is like what I would call the people when we go to...
But the question Waziri Mutegi asked you,
capitalization.
Before one dies,
yes,
before we go to the Garden of Eden, because we don't want to face death, in case this company does not deliver, what happens?
That is
so that we don't end up with the...
What are the factors that are there that can indicate that it will not deliver? What are there? What are the companies? What is it? Is it lack of funds? Is it lack of resources? The funds are there.
But I think that question was answered by the Deputy President.
The design has been carried out. They are giving us a performance guarantee. They are not just coming in. Every contract has a performance guarantee, which you can now take, get the resources of that company, get another company to do it. So we have inbuilt safety factors that make sure that, and again, between two governments, the levels of the mitigation that are in the contract are very, very high. Trust me. So because this also affects bilateral relations, because two governments have agreed that if you fail, and the money is coming from there, nobody wants to...
Okay, so give us an example of the guarantees that have been built into the contract.
Basically, it's a performance guarantee.
Right.
That the company has to give a performance guarantee, and it is
which is
a board. It's a board that is kept by the government of Kenya. You fail to deliver this contract, we record the bond. It is money which allows us now, of course the loan is still there, which would allow us to bring in another company to finish the work.
Okay.
I mean, still on that article in the Nairobi Monthly, they gave a figure of the capitalization, that this company does not have that kind of capital that the project they are undertaking.
You know, that's not the Bible. The Raw Monthly is not a Bible, and it was not edited in heaven.
No, of course not.
So you cannot deal with all the frag that comes, and there are reasons, and we know this contract is being fought by very many people and from very many quarters, and therefore I would expect people who put Jews and this. I think that one he can write to the Chinese embassy, he can write to the Ministry of Commerce and tell them, look.
Is it a case, Waziri, where, because I've heard you explain so many times, and I tend to see like you're saying the right thing. Is it a case, if you go to China, you've been to China yourself, any project that is undertaken by the government, especially those mega projects, even from the top leadership, the Chinese at the bottom understand what the government is doing. This is a case where the Kenyan government is doing mega projects using my money as a taxpayer, your money as a taxpayer, but you're telling us we are building you a mega project, so don't ask questions. We are going to accomplish it. Why can't it start where Kenyans understand this for the good of us and the country, and we can support it?
Do you remember what I said from the onset, from her first question, that I'm quite happy to be here to talk about it. This is exactly the beginning of it, whether that was done, but I'm here. I've never shied away to explain, because I feel this is a good project. We've spoken of the standard gauge rail. This country has not built a railway in 120 years.
I'm talking about not defending but supporting. We cannot be starting mega projects or any project, then we start defending when we are at it. I would rather we be starting from the support that you are getting from the public.